Hey everyone, and welcome back to How to Spend It. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 ways to reduce your taxes in the United Kingdom. If you think you're a tax expert, wait until number 1. But before we get on to that, go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps us a lot and lets us know that we are helping to enrich lives out there. And without any further ado, let's get on to the video. Number 10. Mileage allowance. The number 10 spot on our How to Spend It list is the idea of mileage allowance. This can help reduce the taxes for the year as staff are paid a mileage allowance to use their own car getting to and from work. It helps to offset some cash if the employer pays less per mile than the permitted rate. Depending on how far you end up driving, it can vary from 45 pence a mile for the first 10,000 business miles. For those above the noted distance, you can claim 25 pence per mile, helping in the long run for your tax relief. Number 9. Living abroad. Living in the United Kingdom for 183 days a year or more classifies the person as a resident of the country. This means that as a resident there are certain taxes that must be paid when filing. By spending 182 days or less, it will allow you a different tax and one that is safe from HMRC, though it might not be as simple when filing. You will want to be sure everything for where you reside is in place. Don't want to leave home for that long? Stick around for number 5. Number 8. Employment status. This status has a big impact on what you get back. When filling out the forms for tax relief, it will ask if you are employed or if you are self-employed. Both options have their advantages and disadvantages for claiming to be one or the other. Being employed makes it easier to have relief available on pension contributions, while being self-employed allows you to claim different things that you use for your job that you have bought with your own money. A more recent form of this is the ever-popular movement away from hotels, Airbnbs. Taking in guests during the year through this method means you don't have to declare any income up to £7,500 once costs are deducted, since it falls under the rent-a-room ideal. Anything higher than the above amount needs to be declared. Number 7. Uniform costs. There are some jobs where you can't just walk in wearing jeans and a nice shirt. These jobs requiring uniforms can range from police officers to sanitation workers to even prison guards. The HMRC, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, has agreed that since uniforms are required and to pay for them can come out of the pocket of the employee sometimes, then there are flat rate deductions that can be applied. They have a list of those that it applies to and usually has a range of £80 to £140 a year. If your job isn't listed, then there is a standard annual amount of £60. Are you a casual but giving sort? Stay tuned for number 4. Number 6. Personal allowance. Personal allowance can vary depending on age as well as the tax code provided to your employer. For the 2020-2021 tax year, the amount currently being looked at is an earning of £12,500. If you are part of a couple organising your tax relief and trying to determine what to do with the basic personal allowance, there is one way that may help. Should one half of the couple be a higher taxpayer and the other be a nil taxpayer, then you can put the income producing savings under the nil taxpayer's tax relief. In doing so, the nil taxpayer can earn approximately £3,000 annually and be a nice nest egg for future endeavours. Number 5. Allowable business expenses. When going over your expenses from the year, there are things you have purchased that can work in your favour other than being used for what you do to earn the paycheck. For some, it could be the cost of a computer needed to analyse data or write up the scripts needed for a television series. It could be a printer or even an order of paper. Those who are employed by a company will find that the amount they can claim in business expenses is less than those who are self-employed. The self-employed workers may be surprised by what they can claim. It will all depend on the business circumstances they find themselves in. What they claim can provide a nice relief in their bank account. Prefer to learn more? Stick around for number 2. Number 4. Tax relief on charity donations. In the world today, there are many different organisations in which you can donate a sum of money to in hopes of betterment for that particular group. It could be one for a children's hospital, cancer treatment, or the environment. When it comes to tax relief time, these contributions will help in reducing the taxes you may have to pay out, or even reflect on the relief you get. When the donations are made, 20% income tax is added to the donation at source. By adding the amounts you donated to your tax relief, you can look to getting a higher rate back. You will want to make sure that you have good and accessible records of this to provide come tax time. Number 3. Full entitlement on pension contributions. Most of us here hope that by the time we come to our senior years, we have a nice pension tucked away so we no longer need to work. In order to get that pension, we have to put in the hours once we join the workforce. If you are employed by a company, the employer can take the pension contributions out of your paycheck so that you do not need to worry about figuring out how much to tuck away. Being employed, you can get 20% claimed at the source for pension contributions. For the other 20% you can claim, you would need to go through your tax return. You will want to make sure though that you are not getting the relief on these accumulating more than 100% of your annual earnings. If you go past the amount, you will need to pay back the extra amount. But wait until you hear the big earner at number 1. Number 2. Your tax code. In the UK, the tax code is used to ensure that your employer knows how much is to be deducted off each paycheck. For example, in the 2020-2021 year, the standard tax code is 1250L, as the code means the amount you are able to earn in the year tax-free. If your code is lower than the default code without any taxable benefits, it means you are paying too much tax. On the other hand, if your code is higher than the standard, then you will get a shock come filing time. This means you are not paying enough taxes and will need to pay out rather than receive a return. By keeping an eye on your tax code, you can ensure that this does not happen to you and avoid any stress. Number 1. Calculations. To finish off our list today, our last way of reducing your taxes in the United Kingdom is by keeping an eye on the calculations. This requires a bit of research and work on your end, as you want to make sure correct percentages are taken off your paychecks and the correct amount goes into the return before being filed away for the year. While we all want to believe that those who are hired on with Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs (HMRC) are skilled to avoid error, we must remember that we are all human. There are factors that could come into play that causes the amount listed to be incorrect. Roadblocks could be government cuts, poor training, or even the employee entering the information being less than motivated to complete their work. With all this in place, the results can very well be reduced production and the calculations being off. Well guys, that's it for this video. Click the link above to check out some of our other videos. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. We have many great videos coming up. See you in the next video.